Once again, we are talking to U.S. Undersecretary of Disinformation Clifford Nussbaum. I'm Alan Goldthroat, and we're discussing the ever-so-close-to-happening Canadian conflict. Hello, you're on the air. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a breaking news story. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Good morning, Helen. I have a prepared statement to read, after which I will entertain a few questions. Over the course of the past several days, the multinational coalition has tried in vain to resolve our differences with Canada. Thank you, Rasmus. It now seems that the diplomacy has failed, and the president has given the Joint Chiefs of Staff the go-ahead to begin massing troops along the border in anticipation of a preemptive strike. Reservists and National Guardsmen are instructed to report to their respective headquarters. An order has been issued to detain all naturalized Americans of Canadian descent.
Cerveza, taco y playa, chica de mayo y chimichanga con la santana y piñata, Don Quijote de la casa del loco de los nombres. Buenos ranchos de San Despacito, Ricky Ricardo, Los Lobos Tortilla, buenos noches, por favor, y Luisa Sosa. ¡Ay, caramba, ay, caramba!
We interrupt this foreign language broadcast of limited appeal with this breaking news story. We're going live to the White House where Rasmus Gumble has been standing by.
That's right, folks. This is Rasmus Gumble at the White House. Well, it's not so much a house as a big building with lots of rooms and a convenient place for the press to stand. We were waiting for the president to address the nation. However, White House aides do inform us that the president is now incapacitated, and therefore his speech will now be co-delivered by Kermit the Frog. Am I reading this right? And Barney the Dinosaur? Okay, it looks like they's ready to start.
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. Approximately 10 minutes ago, United States combined air and ground forces rolled across our northern border into Canada. Thank you, Rasmus. We are fighting this war because we think there is a good chance that we can win it, and to divert public attention from the fact that we are currently in a recession. There's more, but I really don't feel like reading it.
And I'm standing on the deck of the USS Saratoga. Somewhere out there over the horizon is Nova Scotia, which sources inform me has taken quite a pounding in these first few hours of the war. I'd like to introduce Second Lieutenant... Pedro Mulroney from Anaheim, California. At least twice already today. Could you give us at least a sense of some of your early impressions of the war?
Well, sir, I've got to say first of all how surprised I was over what a minimal amount of resistance we've encountered. I haven't seen a lot of defensive fire yet, which amazes me when you consider how long they've known this shit was gonna come down.
I know you're not allowed to go into a lot of technical detail due to some of the security restrictions, but could you tell me how the equipment seems to be performing up here under such harsh conditions?
Well, I can't just say that. By American, our gear is the best on the planet. These smart bombs are amazing. You don't even have to tell them what to go after. They'll pick their own goddamn targets. I saw one pass up a man on a burro to go after a fat senorita. Spilled her open like a piñata on Cinco de Mayo. It was a beautiful sight.
Okay, Lieutenant Mulroney, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to talk to us. What's next for you? A hot meal? A little downtime?
Well, sir, me and some of the other pilots will probably head for the showers now and lather up each other's genitals before we head to the...
Standing here with Major Delbert Dogdick, Media Liaison Officer for the 8th Light Armored Infantry Division, the group spearheading the assault into northern Ontario. Major, how goes the battle?
Well, sir, we've been pounding the bejesus out of the Canadian forces. By the time we get finished, there won't be so much as a pueblo left standing.
We heard from some of the other divisional commanders that they have met with very little resistance on other fronts. Is that the situation here?
We found that the best time to achieve a total element of surprise is during siesta. when most of these Canadians are either drinking in the canteen or are passed out in the street.
Have you run into any unforeseen problems that intelligence didn't prepare you for?
Not so much problems as operational difficulties. At the start of this campaign, we didn't realize that we'd have to cross the Rio Grande, so that set back our timetable a little bit.
Any other problems?
Not since we learned to stop drinking the water.
Major, any idea how long this campaign will take?
Depends on how much of a boost this war turns out to be for the economy. Let me just say off the record that we can probably expect 4 or 5 more months of this shit. By then, that sissy Neil Young won't have much left to sing about.
We're really loving it up here in Quebec. The senoritas are real friendly and the tequila is really cheap. There's all kinds of really neat things to do around here, too. Yesterday, me and a couple of buddies went to a bullfight, a cockfight, bought some steroids, and then took in a donkey show.
Okay, Private Shaw, before we leave you, is there anyone special at home you'd like to say hello to?
Yes, I'd like to say hi to my mother and father, and to tell them that I'm safe and not near the fighting. Also hi to my kid brother Nathan, and hi to all the guys down at the Adonis Theater and Bathhouse. Leather Larry, Frankie the Fist, Loretta, and Bruno the Vein.
Terrific. We've been talking to Private First Class Gilbert Shaw with the occupation forces up in Quebec. It's time now to go to a station ID. When we get back, we'll be taking a look at today's headlines. We're back with Rock Talk. This is Preston Bongwater, and I'm chatting to the pseudo-surrealist, industrialist, pretentious, grunge, rock, pop, folk band Desert Rain. It's been a while since we've spoken, guys. How have you been?
Great. Right now we're between cities on our world tour. This is the best tour we've had in 10 years. Lots of drugs, lots of women, and a brand new drummer to boot. Say hello, Rodney.
Hello. Jolly good to be here. How long have you been in the band, Rodney?
We're going on about 4 or 5 minutes now.
Well, let's cut right to the chase. Tell us about the project you're promoting here today.
Well, originally we were approached by that little faggot Don Henley about a project he became involved with organizing called Rock Against Canada. The idea was to have different bands, different artists contribute songs to an album to benefit the U.S. war effort. You know, being patriotic Americans, we wrote a little number.
Who are some of the other artists involved with Rock Against Canada?
Well, Elton John wrote one called I Wouldn't Suck a Canadian's Dick, which was kind of funny, really, because he sucked everyone else's dick at the recording session.
That's a true story, you know. Bryan Adams wrote a song called Somebody Should Kill Me. There were all kinds of great people involved with this. It was just a wonderful project.
Let's spin the record now, shall we?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Working in the silo, aiming at Toronto, we finally get to use our surplus nukes. Fallout spilling over most of Manitoba. At least we got to use our fucking nukes.
Good morning. Rise and shine. This is Morty in the morning here on Radio Bombay. It looks today like it will be another beautiful day. Already I catch a magnificent putrid whiff of the river Ganges, the mother of all rivers. You can always predict the coming day by the smell of the mighty river. Let us get you up to date on the headlines. The United States for another day has left us alone. However, they have killed every man, woman, and child in Mexico. I can only wonder when our time will come. Closer to home, residents of the village Dornplop report a talking cow. It was reputed to have said, "Serve me a beer while I take a shit." But in all probability, what it actually said was, "Vishnu Natamoti Bhavan Ragade." Oh no, not again.
You know, all good things must come to an end. I always say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. The guy that never fucks up never does anything.